Hello and welcome to my March 27th video update. No, I haven't really gone to the other side, but I did buy an Android phone. But I didn't buy it to use as a phone. I've already got that nicely covered with my iPhone 7 Plus. I got it because I want to become familiar with Android, the Android platform and apps that run on it, particularly in the area of photography. So since I was not going to use it as a phone, I was looking for something really very inexpensive that would give me that experience and get me a little up to speed on the video recording apps as well as the video editing apps that are available for Android that aren't available for iOS or vice versa. And so I was looking for this inexpensive phone, and I found one. And a thank you goes out to Florian Reichert, a guy I met on Facebook in the MojoCon, mobile journalism group. And I posted a question about an inexpensive phone, and he mentioned this Nextbit Robin as being available for just close to $100. So I checked it out, and sure enough, found it on Amazon for $119. Now it's kind of a bizarre color. And it was Nextbit is a company that was a Kickstarter project or Kickstarter campaign. It got the funding 2015, and it started producing this phone. And the idea was a basic phone that had 32 gigabytes of storage, onboard storage, but most of the apps that weren't being used, data that wasn't being used, would be stored in the cloud. And so along with your account, you got 100 gigabytes of space in the cloud. Sometime early in 2017, unfortunately it didn't sell very well apparently. And sometime in early 2017, Razer, which is a gaming company, purchased Nextbit, and they maintained the phone for, they're actually maintaining it through now. I think they've ceased maintenance of or any support for the phone, for this Robin phone, and they have maintained. They still continue to support a forum base so that the community can support itself. And for my purposes, this is probably fine. I mean, I paid $119 for this phone, so basically I have a flat second camera in my pocket when I carry it with me. And actually, I was thinking when we travel, we're planning to go to Europe later on this year. I might get a SIM for this card and not for my iPhone, as I've typically done in the past. That way, my iPhone stays the same, and when I'm in Wi-Fi, it's just like I'm at home. But if I need to make phone calls, I can do it with this. And so I really wouldn't even have to use data on it, which, except for GPS, that would be kind of nice to be able to use it with GPS. So the purpose is served. And I have, and it's always fun to have a new gadget to kind of figure out. That's really what I enjoy doing, getting something, a tool, a piece of software or a piece of hardware and figuring out how it works, and then being ready to help other people with it, or in this case, to teach people how to use the apps that are unique to Android or that are commonly used by Android users to produce video. So the phone came actually a day early. I got it day before yesterday, and charged it all up. It has it's a Type-C connector for the charger, and it's this bizarre kind of turquoise color, but and it's a flat band. So that's one more thing I have to carry with me, but it's USB at the other end, so I can plug it into my normal charging bricks. But it's a 3 gigabyte RAM phone. It's got 32 gigabytes of storage space. And so I've spent the last couple days with the help of folks in this group, and two different groups really on Facebook, that are about mobile journalism and the like. And they've recommended apps. Bernhard Lill is a German journalist who has a great list of suggested apps for both iOS or for Android. So I got Camera MX. I think I paid for that one actually, and of course now I have to set up pay with Google Pay, and I've done that, so I can go to the Play Store and I can get apps. So far, that's the only one I've paid for, though. I'm really KindMaster is the video editing program that most people seem to like, and it's available on iOS as well as the Android platform. The downside with KineMaster and also now Power Director, which is another video editing app, is their subscription models. And so I forget what the cost is. I think it's $39 a year with KineMaster, and you get all the extra features. But you can use the app for free. It just puts a watermark on your videos. And there might be a limitation to size, and so I haven't really looked into that. But it's again, it serves my purpose for learning how KineMaster works. So if I have students in my mobile video storytelling class that are using Android phones, I have some experience now with which I can recommend different apps. Power Director and KineMaster are nonlinear editors, and so they work the same way as most video editors do work on these mobile devices as well as desktops. So I've got that. As I said, I got Camera MX. It comes with a camera, obviously. I mean, it's got a camera, and it's actually a 13 megapixel camera. The front-facing camera is only a 5 megapixel, so it kind of harkens back to, I don't know, what was my iPhone 5 or something like that. But so it's a decent camera. And it gives me actually, now that I have it, I keep thinking of other ways I can use it. I now can do, a 2-camera shoot. So I'm using my iPhone 7 right now to do this. And since I wanted to show you this bizarre color of this phone, and it's really kind of sleek looking, a nice square or rectangular, traditional corners. I can't use it, but in the future I could have this, over here, for example, and get a different angle, or down on whatever it is I'm working on my iPad or something. And so it gives me a possibility for 2-camera shoot. Plus, I can try this Cinemaker. I'm now kind of motivated to try the Cinemaker multi-camera app that lets you, from your iPad, control, I think, up to 5 or maybe an infinite number of other input devices or camera devices. I use my iPad mini, and the camera on that's not as great as even this one. So this will be nice to be able to use for that as well. But again, as I think about it, I downloaded Skype because I can use this for calling people using Skype if I have it on here, because it works. It is a phone, obviously, but I don't intend ever to use it as a phone unless, as I just said, we go abroad and I get a SIM card for it instead of getting it for my iPhone 7, or iPhone whatever it is at the time. And it seems like every day I think, I should put that on the Robin. For example, this morning I realized I could use Facebook Messenger on here. I'm not going to put Facebook on here. I'm not putting mail on this, but I put Facebook Messenger because I can use that as a messaging app, and it doesn't interfere with having it on my iPhone as well. And I put, as I said, Skype, and I put WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a kind of an international messaging app that's very popular, and we found very useful when we were in Rome last fall. So I put WhatsApp on here, and I'll use that on here if I need to. I'm limited to when I'm connected with Wi-Fi, so that's not a big deal. I could actually connect to my iPhone using the iPhone as a hotspot. That again, I just thought of that. But it's fun kind of learning the different apps that are available, and what apps are available on this that are also available for iOS. And then the question came up. Okay, so we had a big snow yesterday, so I went out to the windows and took pictures, and I recorded scenes, really short clips of scenes in the snow. And then I used KineMaster, which is the first time I've ever used it, and made a little video and added some music. And then I thought, okay, now how do I get that to my iPad? So if I'm recording clips on this and I want to get them to the iPad, how do I do that? Or if I'm in a class and I've got people that are using Androids and people that are using iOS, how do I get their files to my iPad so we can show them on the big screen or something like that? And one way, of course, is Dropbox or any cloud service. So Dropbox worked out perfectly. And Box, the limitation with that, though, is if I'm someplace and don't have Wi-Fi, therefore can't get to the cloud, how am I going to do that? So if I'm in a situation, even a training situation, where I don't have access to local Wi-Fi, nor do the folks that are in the class, then how do we transfer files? And for that, I came up with, let me see my little drive here. I tried my Western Digital, my Passport Pro drive, and I was having trouble. I mean, I was able to connect to it, so that worked fine. But then I started having some issues with it, and so it made me dig out my old SanDisk, it's a couple years old, little media drive, which is, I believe, 64 gigabytes. Still has a lot of, it is 64 gigabytes, and it still has a fair amount of space on it. But I can, and I can also insert an SD card into it, so I can transfer files that way. Of course, I don't know how I'm going to get files off of the Robin onto an SD card. I can do that on my iPhone 7. The solution, though, is I can connect to this via Wi-Fi. So this sets up a little hotspot, and I can connect my Robin to the media drive, transfer the video, and I did this to make sure that it works, like the video I produced or the clips that I've taken that I want to use to make a video, and transfer those to the media drive. And then with my iPad, access the media drive and download them. So that solves the problem of being, on a ship or being on a beach or being someplace where you don't have any Wi-Fi. And this is the way that you can actually connect the devices. Same thing with Cinemaker. If I want to try using, do a 2-camera shoot using my iPad as the control panel, the 2 cameras, the Robin and my iPhone 7 Plus and the iPad can all be connected via this SanDisk media drive. So it's really very handy. I always forget I have this thing, and it's really quite handy. It's not as big to carry around as the Western Digital My Passport Pro drive. Okay, so that takes care of that issue. And that's really all there is to it. I just wanted to have this kind of device and was thrilled that I was able to find one that was not going to break the bank, and that I actually had the money in the bank to be able to buy it. And so the company no longer exists, and hopefully I won't have any real technical problems with it that I can't resolve myself. And there is no more warranty support for it. So it was a risk, but I think it was one worth taking. And it's kind of fun. Okay, so that's my update for this week. And I will be back next week with some information on the new mic that I got and how it's working out. So tune in next week, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.